Okay, so I'm going to do an acrylic painting with a mother color. A mother color is a way to make your painting harmonious. We looked at the different harmonious schemes, which are monochromatic, analogous, triadic, complementary, split complementary, and double complementary with tints, tones, and shades. That is kind of a little bit of a hard way to limit your painting to those colors, which is called a limited palette, to make your painting harmonious. Another way you can make your painting harmonious is by using a mother color, which means you're going to add one color to all the colors that you use. That way it's just going to harmonize the painting. This was kind of noticed or made a term in painting when people were looking at landscape paintings at different times of day. So like at sunset, it was pink. At sunrise, it was yellow because the light was yellow. So every color in the painting was bathed in yellow or pink or maybe violet for twilight. So that's what a mother color is. It doesn't have to be regarding to the light, but it can be just done in any way you want. So it's adding one color to every color in the painting. It can be red, orange, yellow, green, blue, or purple, or a tint, a tone, or a shade of any of those colors. And then it can also be black, white, or gray, or brown. So I'm doing Judith this is by Michelangelo. I'm just doing this as an example. This is Judith carrying the head of Holofernes. So there's a head right here. I'll probably change that into something else because it's a little disturbing. Maybe flowers. I changed the colors just because I wanted to change the colors and experiment with the colors. You can do that if you want. You can use an image. You can use the real colors or change the colors. I just like the figures, so I just drew them on the canvas. And I'm going to get started. So I'm going to get started with this dress. I'm using kind of a large brush. I'm using acrylic right now. That's 2. I'm going to get some white. This is a dark pink, but it's a little too dark. So I'm thinking of what I want my mother color to be. You don't have to add a lot. I'm just right now blocking in areas of color, and I'm going to work for detail later. You can put the mother color in the paint on the canvas or on the palette. I just want to get in large areas of color. I'm thinking I'm going to do a yellow or a pink for the mother color, a light color. But since I'm going to do more than one layer, I'm just going to block in big areas of color for right now to save time. I'm going to do another layer. I just want to get some big areas of color down just to help me get started. I'm going to have to use a smaller brush, but for right now, I just want to see where my big areas of color are. I'm going to go over this again and in more detail with the mother color, which for right now, I want it to be pink or yellow. But getting some color in is just going to help me get started. So these are not the same colors. I changed them just to make it look a little bit more like surreal or different. Instead of realistic, the colors here are not objective, but subjective to give a mood to the piece of art. Okay. I'm going to kind of wipe off this brush, and I'm going to get this light pink. It's going to be lighter than this, but I'm just going to use this for the lighter area. You can do anything you want for this as long as you're using a mother color and you're mixing it into all the colors. Again, I'm not quite doing it yet because this is my first layer. But I'm going to put yellow or pink into all the colors. I'm just blocking in big areas of color just to help me get started. So you can do landscape, a flower, a still life. I just tried to do a figure because I haven't painted a figure yet, and perspective. So you can kind of see the pencil marks through, and that's why some people don't like to use pencil to start their paintings. Okay. Again, I haven't started with the mother color. I'm just getting a first layer down to help me get my bearings when I actually start doing the painting. Okay. So I'm going to get some white and mix it with some ultramarine blue to make a lighter blue. Maybe a little lighter. I just chose this because I really like Renaissance painting. I like the drapery. I don't know. I really like the drapery. The way that they shade it. Again, this is just kind of a preliminary layer before I do more kind of detail work to help me get some major colors blocked in. I'm just looking for darker areas. This is kind of a fat brush. It's a flat that's diagonal, but I'm going to go in with a smaller round later. It's kind of a rough sketch of color, I guess you could call it. That needs a lot of work, but I'm going to keep going. Okay. So this floor that they're on is dark. I'm going to just go in with the dark purple for now. And I may make it a bit darker, but I just want to get that dark in there. Just getting this dark in. I don't usually use perspective, so I wanted to do something with some perspective in it. I'm not really, I don't do a lot of landscapes. I usually do like a figure or a portrait. So I wanted to do some figures in space. Again, right now, we're practicing skills. Okay. That needs another layer, but let's leave that for later. I'll show you. So I'm looking at, I made this on my cell phone. Whoops, you can't see there. You can see my light. I changed the color in Photoshop. It's more orangey and realistic, but I wanted it to be a little bit more like surreal, mystical, etheric. So that's why I use these colors. And then I'm going to go into this background. So for the first coat of the back, I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to go for a light blue. It still has some of the purple in it, but oh well. Again, this is just getting some color on the canvas board to start. And I haven't started the mother color process yet. Some people would start it at the beginning. I just know that I'm going to paint over this. This is kind of like the underpainting. It's going to be a lot of blue. Trying to do it quickly. And again, this is going to need adjusting. But I want to have something on here. This is a fast drying paint, so I can do this painting in one sitting. That's the advantage of acrylic. With oil, you have to wait for it to dry. Okay, I'm going to lower this. So this is just a piece of cardboard. I have a lot of pieces of cardboard that I use as palettes and throw away. And these figures may need to be adjusted as well. I mean, I sketched them on there. They're probably not perfect. And that's going to need another coat or two. It kind of looks watery and see-through at this time. It's not really opaque. It's transparent. Some of the colors are transparent, so that's why more than one layer will fix that problem. Unless you want it to be like that. If you like it like that, that's fine too. I don't really like that necessarily on a canvas. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, so now, since the other parts are kind of smaller, I'm just going to switch to a brush that's a little bit smaller. Again, I'm still just kind of getting in major colors to get started. And some of these shapes are going to need to be adjusted, I can already tell. Again, this is like the sketch in acrylic. Okay, I'm going to go with that same color over here. Okay, let me go back to this blue. And I need to clean this off. I'm going to come in with a red over here. We add a little bit of white to it. You don't have to use, just in general, not all artists are using harmonious color schemes. Some are planning their paintings out with harmonious color schemes. But a harmonious color scheme gives it like a more happy feeling, relaxed feeling. If you're not using a harmonious color scheme, it might give it a disturbing feeling, perhaps. And that's why artists do stuff like that. So what they're doing helps give the painting or the drawing the meaning. Color is very hard to get a handle on, so people usually like to use some sort of harmonious color scheme just to keep it under control. Okay. And what else do I need to do? I'm just washing off my brush. I'm probably going to leave this for later, just because I might change the color. I am going to put the green here. It needs a lot of work, just trying to get started. And some blue here. Okay, I'm probably going to worry about the skin later, just because I'm not exactly sure what color I'm going to make it, but I'm going to get some pink for this fabric. So she's holding something and she's bringing a piece of fabric to cover it up. Okay. I am going to stop here and then come back and do some more detail. Already, this is a pink. So if I'm already using a pink, I don't need to necessarily add more pink to it. Or possibly a violet. I'm just trying to get the details fixed. Not a violet, a lavender, like a violet and white as the mother color. But so if I'm already using a pink like this, I don't need to add a pink to it, if that makes any sense. I mean, you can. If I wanted to, I could add a little bit of this pink to it. And then it would be in there, but it's kind of already in there. And I'm changing some of the shapes. So we're on layer 2. I'm just getting a dark outline to this side because it's darker. I may change my brush, hold on. Some of my brushes are old and they have paint caked into them. So no, I'm going to get a tiny one. This really tiny one. Let's see how it works. Yeah, that's better. Hmm. Okay, I'm going to get, so I was using this pink. I'm going to mix it with white to make a little bit of a lighter value of color. And I'm going to lighten up some areas of the dress. It kind of looks the same. Or at least, at minimum, make it more opaque. Meaning not see-through. There we go. That looks a bit better. And there's going to be some line work on this, but I'm going to have to wait for the areas to dry. I'm just getting a nice kind of opaque color here. And this has pink in it as well. So do I need to add the pink? No, I'm going to be mainly adding it to the blues and the greens just to make it harmonious with the other colors. So again, this is just kind of fixing up the original layers that I did, adding perhaps some lights and darks. I'm just flattening this out. It looks a little textured. I don't want it textured on this. Okay. Alrighty, so what I'm going to go back into this again. I'm going to kind of mix some white and make a medium kind of magenta. Let's go with this. That actually is the mother color. Nope. I'm going to come back right over here and see what that looks like. So I want kind of a dark, a medium, and a light, but there's going to be more variation in that. I'm just kind of setting up areas of value. Starting to look a bit better. It's very time consuming. Okay, so now I'm just going to go and enhance this dark again because it's still kind of see-through. Just another layer. And here, I'm going to go dark right here. This again needs blending, but I want to put, that looks a lot better than before though. I want to put some line work on it first, and then I'm going to go back in and blend, but I need it to dry. Luckily, it dries really quickly. Okay, so let me go in here with this color. Sorry, this is really close to my arm, so I'm just trying to, okay. Let's just put this in darker. I'll fix that later. And again, if you're using an image, you can use a photograph or a painting. You can change it, leave stuff out, change the color. I'm going to go right in here since I have this on my brush. Okay. Let me go into the blue skirt for a second. I just need to leave this alone for a second. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go dark blue first because there's some areas of dark blue. This actually comes up here. I'm also, when I'm doing this layer, so, okay, actually for the dark blue, I almost forgot. So say I'm using this as the dark blue. I'm putting some of the pink in it as the mother color. And I'm not putting a lot in there. I don't want it to like really change the color. I just want it to influence the color slightly so that it's going to make it more harmonious with the pink color. I'm just getting a dark in there. And it has the mother color in it. Okay. I'm putting some water on my brush because I'm going to try to make a few lines, which are folds in the fabric. Oh, okay, I need to lighten the light. Okay, so here's my light. I'm getting a little more white and putting it in there, but I want the mother color to be in there, so I'm mixing it in. Okay, and that's just another thing that's going to make it harmonious. It actually does change this color a little bit. You can see it more than you could in the darker blue. Let me get some more white. I still need a lot of work on this, but I just want to make these colors again kind of opaque instead of transparent, which is how they looked at first. To make, if you have a transparent paint, if you add white to it, then it'll turn it opaque. It'll also lighten it though. Okay. It's going to take a while, but we're getting there. Okay. That needs work, but let me see if I can do a little bit of it right now. So you can mix wet into wet, or you can wait for it to dry and do another layer, which is what I usually do. Here I'm putting a little into wet There's another fold right here. Trying to do a little blending, but I know I'm going to have to do more work on top of this, but just get some of it in here now. What did I do here? I may need to make a few corrections in the folds. I'm going to let that dry and mess with it later. Okay, so up here on the arm is the same blue fabric. But I feel that I didn't really, like her arm is farther back. So I'm moving some of my sketch now. I'm actually outlining it. That's more of the shape of the arm. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so I'm going to put some of the blue in here. Always correcting and painting. Okay. And the lighter blue up here. It's kind of blending too much, but let's get some blue in there. And right here. Okay. Now I am looking for I had a dark green. I'm just looking for it. Hold on. No. Let me just look one more. Well, no, I'll just put some, for right now, I'll just put some blue into this green. And then I'll come back late. I'll look for my darker green when in between videos. Okay, now this doesn't have the mother color in it, so I'm going to put some pink in there. Just slight. Okay, so that's going to be my dark green for right now. It actually is, I like that dark green. It has a lot of, this painting has a lot of folds in it. I'm just kind of doing some line work right now because I feel that the lines I made before are slightly off. Okay. Always adjusting. Okay. Now that, I don't know, that doesn't look quite right either, but I'm going to try to fill it in with this lighter kind of blue-green. but I need to put some of the pink in it. So the mother color is throughout the whole painting. So it's in every color. But again, if I'm using a red or a pink, I don't need to put that in there. Do I need to go lighter? I'm going to go with a little bit of white in here. Okay. That looks horrible. It needs blending. Hold on. I'm going to try to do a little bit of it now. A little bit. It's going to need a bit of work. Okay, I am going to put a little bit more pink in here. Okay, so this is also green. And it's darker up here. And let me go lighter down here. And right here. I'm going to put a little bit of, this is dry by now. I'm going to put a little bit of the line work on here. So I'm going to go with the purple. This should be this way. So I think that for this, at least, I feel that the line is having some line work in it is going to enhance the painting. I'm getting a little water on my brush. It helps make the line, if the paint thick, it helps make it less chunky so I can kind of get a thinner line in there. It's a little, those lines are a little chunky, but I'll probably go back in there later and kind of blend some of the color into them. I like the line, but it's too fat. Oh well. I'll work on it later. Okay, this video is about a half an hour, so I'm going to stop and quite a bit of layering. Like I did some layering right here. I did some work right here. So I'm just going, I mean, it still needs a bit of work. So I'm going to just add some of the value and shading with the mother color. Okay. It still needs a lot of work. I'm going to go into this thing first. So I'm going to try to add some of the value. So this is a pig, so I don't really need to. I'm just filling in this little area. Hold on one second. Okay, that didn't really turn out so well. Okay, let me go into right here and get the dark red. And I'm going to put some folds in. I'm just trying to touch it up and do a little shading right now. So the dark red has pink in it. I'm not worried about adding the mother color. I'm getting a Q-tip. I'm just looking for other area that needs red. Sorry, I'm jumping around like that. It also needs white. So I'm trying to put in the darks and the lights in terms of highlights. But I also want it to be, well, I want it to be blended. These are just chunks of color. Okay. It's okay to use chunks of color if they kind of look like they're blended. That doesn't look, I mean, I'm not really happy with that, but let me go back into the red for a second. I'm just looking for little things I need to correct on this layer, which will probably be the last, but maybe not. I'm going to go darker right here. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit of purple in here. And a bit of a purple outline right here. I'm actually, since I have the purple, I know I do that sometimes since I have it on my brush. I wanted to enhance this line, but when I was painting on it before, it was wet. And I'm going to outline this foot. Okay. Let me come into, may take a couple more layers. And I also did quite a bit, not on video. It takes a while. You can do something simpler if you like. Hold on. Alrighty, I'm going to delve into the blue dress. So I'm going to get some of this with white. So the violet has pink in it, so I didn't put the mother color in it, but I do need to put it in the blue. So I'm putting a little bit of that pink in there for my light. Okay, so this was wet before, so I just want to get some of the highlights in here. I'll probably need an even smaller brush. It's kind of too tiny to do a lot of the detail work. Okay. Let's take a look at the dress. I'm trying to find areas that are a bit lighter. It still needs quite a bit of work. I may actually, well, never mind. I was going to say may actually go over this with oil paint, but we're trying to do this in acrylic, so no. Well, I added some lights in there. I'm not really happy. Let me go into some green. I'm just making a darker green. And I'm going to put a little pink in there. Sorry, I forgot that. That's the mother color. Sometimes a bit hard to remember unless you pre-mix everything. Sorry, when I stop for a second, I'm kind of looking for what I need to fix. I'm going to go for a really light green. Just trying to do the lights and darks. I'm having a hard time with it because it's so tiny. Okay, hold on. Okay. And this has a bit of light right here. Okay, I'm going to go back into my blue mixed with the mother color pink. I want to go dark right on this edge. Maybe this whole thing can be dark. Again, if you're using a picture, you have creative license. This needs again too. I'm just thinking, is this too light? That's what I'm thinking. Let me go for a medium in between. Yeah, that I'm liking the medium. That's helping. Okay, hold on. It has in it. Okay, let me go back to my light. Okay, I'm liking that a little bit better. It needs more work, but I'm going to let that dry. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go into this for a second, which is the mother color. There it might be a darker. So I'm trying to, whoops, it still has some of the blue in it. If you're really picky, I actually like what happens when you do that. You kind of see. But if you're really picky, you can use a different brush. Okay, so now I go with the purple. It's actually starting to look a bit better. No, I mean, it still needs more work. I'm going dark right here. It's like she has a shirt on under. I'm going back in here because I kind of when I went in here, kind of diminished some of these outlines. Just working around the image. It's probably going to need, I don't know, maybe a couple more layers. Let me go into this for a second, which has the mother color in it. Just a lot of detail work. That's too dark. Like the rises and falls in the fabric. But I'm actually going to stop here and let it dry. And I think you have the idea. So basically this is for a mother color. Actually, I did have one idea. So this is for a mother color. Mix one color into all the colors. I'm going to try something. It was something that I kept thinking about. I was going to get some really light yellow just because it doesn't really have any. I just want to see how it looks and put a little tiny bit of pink in it. That was too much. As a highlight. I just want to check out how the yellow looks. Does that add to it? Not really. I was thinking of maybe putting some. I'm just kind of trying stuff out on the wall as well. Perhaps on the wall. But like letting the blue show through. And it has the mother color in it. Yeah, that helps. So as you mess around with paintings, you change stuff and you change stuff. Oh no. And you kind of experiment with stuff and see if you like it. And if you don't like it, then you wait for it to dry and paint over it. Okay. I'm going to actually stop here and leave it alone, and I may come back to it. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is about a mother color where you're mixing color into every single color to create color harmonies.